the big thing that I'm seeing is obviously major campaigns like Gillette's recent one, where they go very kind of hard in on a topic and there's no mention of shaving products at all. That's great and really important. But the subtler stuff in kind of more normal campaigns is really cool as well, I think, where you have just a product being flogged as normal, but where you situate somebody new in that world that you might not have seen as the protagonist in there before. You know, doesn't always have to be like a bearded white guy driving the 4x4 or whatever it might be. And I think that's kind of cool, where it seems just an accident, and we can see that happening without us needing to be reminded of the identity of the person. It doesn't have to be a campaign that is about any element of their identity. It's just a sort of coincidence, even though initially it probably will be something that people have to think about and have to strategize for in their meetings, because we all have unconscious biases. It's important, and then eventually these things will just, one hopes, be happening by accident. I think a big one for me was making sure that the people making the work reflect the diversity of the culture that we live in, not just the content of the work, and also whose gaze it's from, because it's all well and good having more women or people of colour or whatever it might be in the ad, but if it's still male gaze centric or white centric and written and directed by, and the voiceover is by a dude and all that kind of thing, then you're still making work that's, you know, in some way problematic. So I think looking at who's making it, and then also even one step further back than that, looking at just the makeup of your office in general, I think that's a really important one, because you can be preaching one thing but not doing it with your staff and reflected in from the boardroom, you know, down to more junior staff. I think that's really important. Yeah, the big takeaways would be kind of like who's behind the work, who's behind the people behind the work, and like true integrity in the message that you have. It's got to be reflected across all spheres of your business and the outreach work that you do.